be in the stadium, see the stadium hopefully rocking and rolling here Friday night and playing South Dakota. Really good football team. Runner-up national champion last year. And I can see on the tape why. It's the best. This is without a doubt the best 1AA football team I've seen in my career. I think they play like a Division I football team. They've got talented players. They're well coached, very well coached. And I'm extremely impressed with this football team. Offensively, they averaged over 400 yards last year, a heavy rushing team, but still have somewhat balance. They've got a quarterback now that is a new guy coming in here. Chris, athletic guy and been at a couple different stops, but know about him. Can make things happen. Two really good running backs, good receivers, big tight end, and a well-coached offensive line. So on offense, I think this is a team that can score points. I think they can move the football. I think they're talented. On defense, they were 5th in scoring defense, 19th in total defense, 22nd against the run, and 21st against the pass. So they've got some really good defensive stats. I think they're really stout. I've watched an extensive amount of them on defense. I think they're well coached, play great gap control, run to the football, and I think they're pretty physical at the point. So I think this is a talented defense, a talented offense. I think this is a program that, like I said, extremely impressed with the way that they're prepared, that they're coached, that they execute. And I'm sure they're coming off with a lot of confidence, coming off of just a great year last year. And so it'll be quite a big challenge for us. This is by no means what you would call, opening with ease. This is a bona fide big time team. And our kids know it, our coaches know it, and we know we've got to play at a high level in this football game. And it's going to be a hell of a game. Any questions?
Okay, so your defensive linemen have talked about how they want to set the tone for defense. They want to prove that they're better and deeper. What do you anticipate seeing out of your defensive line, especially against a pretty good offensive line this week?
Yeah, well, I mean, I hope to see obviously a defense at front that's going to dominate the point and play relentlessly and have enough depth to keep coming at this football team. We have talent up front. We got to make plays. We got to make tackles. We got to get after the quarterback, and we got to shut down the run. If you don't shut down the run on this team, you're going to be in for a long evening.
Do you like the depth on that? Because I know everybody thinks about your top 4, the guys that everybody knows, but does that seem like a deeper group that can make them play at an even higher level this year?
Yeah, I mean, we have some depth there for sure. And I think we'll get a good feel for where we are with that group on Friday evening. So, I'm kind of out of the mode of talking about it and into the mode of seeing it on the tape. So let's see what we got,
It's been, you kind of mentioned at the start, but it's been a long time since you've been hired and still not been able to run out with fans and everything. Or have you let yourself been thinking about that, as it approaches, or how excited are you for that?
Well, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing a great stadium. I can't wait to feel the effect of our stadium, our fan base, and just generally college football. I mean, that's what makes it exciting. And that we didn't have that a year ago, obviously, but hopefully we're going to have a great look at that and create a great amount of energy. These players feed off of that as well. So I think everybody's looking forward to playing in front of a bunch of people and feeling the energy of the crowd.
After your camp, or who are some young guys that you guys may, have kind of earned time through camp here?
Well, Robert Floyd on defense. I mean, he's in Jack Howell on defense, and or a couple of guys in Langston Williams is another guy. So some back end guys for sure. On offense, Tanner Arkin is a guy that tight end that's taken a fair amount of snaps. And Evan Olays at quarterback is our number 2 quarterback. So he's taking a fair amount of snaps. I'd say those are the guys. Jarek Robertson is another guy on special teams. So those are a few of the guys that probably look to potentially be on that field.
You seem pleased with Tawny's efforts during camp. Just what are you really hoping to see out of him this week?
Lead our team to win, play at a high level, great leadership, and run and direct that offense.
Yeah. obviously was a little banged up last year. Just compared to what fans saw of him and what he played last year, what aspects of his games out there do you think will really look refined?
Everything. I mean, he's throwing the ball really well. He's running the ball really well. He's got great leadership. I mean, he rushed for over 100 yards last year, and he only played the first half of them. He played the first 3/4 of the game last year. I mean, that wasn't the issue. You know, he had a couple of misses like we've talked about, but I mean, everybody does. We also dropped some balls on him. I mean, you know, this guy's got to go play some football, but his consistency level in preseason camp has been fantastic. What'll it be on Friday night? Well, we anticipate it'll be great, but I guess we'll find out. And one night doesn't make a season, you know. I want to see him. Listen, I've watched this thing a long time. You know, he hasn't had very many bad days, if any, that I can really remember. So, you know, I mean, my sense would be he'll play at a high level. There'll be some stuff along the way. I mean, you guys watched football last Saturday. I mean, you know, there were some real ups and downs in college football last Saturday. But at the end of the day, you find a way to win and you get to 1-0, and it gives you a chance to continue to improve every week. And that's really what it is. Just being tough and resilient. Don't overthink it. Don't over-evaluate it. I won't. I mean, just go and get better and grow as a football program. And Toddy will grow as a quarterback. And that's just the way it is, you know.
How was the install gone for game plan last week, and how much do you like having a second chance to do it?
Well, I mean, thank God we have it. I mean, I don't think we were especially crisp. I thought last week we did a good job of getting it in, so to speak. But I thought, you know, yesterday and today could be better. And this is that transition that happens in week one where you're trying to really pound in getting ready for an actual game as opposed to just another day of preseason practice. And, you know, and the ability to handle, you know, your preseason, you're basically getting your defensive team every week, you know, and now all of a sudden you put whatever, 3.5 weeks in, and you're shifting gears to something more specific to an opponent, and you got to learn how to prepare for opponents. And, you know, I think our effort has been really good. And I think I think we think we're straining at a high level, but I think we got to get more focused, and we got to have a higher level of execution, because that's what it's going to take. You know, in early in the season, you're in a foot race to get the level of execution you want, you know, with all the other things that are trying to get done at the same time. That's why you have a tendency to really improve week 1 through week 3 at a fairly dramatic pace, I think, because sometimes, you know, the urgency of week 1 catches up with you if you don't have a veteran team. And I wouldn't put us in a veteran mode just because we have some older good players. I don't know that I would call this a veteran on our program team right now. We're still learning how to prepare and learning how to strain and really learning how important all the details are. It's the details, you know, and so that's something we're really trying to emphasize within our program. And we're not there yet, you know, and, you know, now, you know, it's my job to make sure we get there at least to a high level for Friday night, but we're in a foot race for it for sure. Now, we've got a couple extra days because we started early, and now we've got to we like to put a good coat of polish on it right now, you know, and over the next 2 days, really get on top of this game plan, which is enough time to do it for sure. But there's got to be a sense of urgency. And that's where we are.
Caden Camper was the team sticker 2 years ago. What did he do in camp to earn that job back?
Kicked. I mean, he's the best kicker on the field. I mean, he's got a strong leg. He's accurate. And he's been extremely consistent throughout training camp. Again, let's see what happens on Friday night. But all I can judge it by is what I see. And he was exceptional during training camp. He's got a big leg. I like him a lot, you know. So hopefully, you believe in your training, you kind of, you know, and you go and you get in game 1 and you go. But these are some of the unknowns from guys that you guys might be mentioning that don't have a lot of bank. So my guess would be somewhere in the middle of reality fall. We'll have some good moments. We'll have some tougher moments. But I think as a football program, you try to overcome all that. You find a way to win, and you get better and you grow. And those things have a way of getting smoother and smoother. To think that there won't be misfires and mishaps by people on game 1, first time in front of people in a couple of years and all that stuff, I think that'd be a little naive. you know? So I would anticipate there'll be some rough spots. Hopefully the good spots outnumber the rough spots. You know, that's your hope. But one game doesn't make a season, you know, you gotta go. Can't play like, you know, you're worried about it all either.
See, folks, about the long-term injuries with Matt and Linwood. Otherwise, how are you health-wise going into week one?
Well, I think pretty decent. I think we'll get a better handle on it towards the end of the week. You know, we probably still have some guys that are banged up that have some question mark, but it's certainly nothing terrible. But we'll see. We'll see.
You like the pageantry of college football. What do you like best about season openers, especially when they're at home?
Well, I think it's always great to open up at home. I mean, it's hard enough to get ready for an opener, but then to pack the whole bus up and fly and travel and hotel and go into an opposing makes it harder. So I'm glad to be home, and I'm glad, you know, to be in front of our fan base because, you know, to me, again, openers are funky. Stuff happens in openers. And so when you have the crowd not working against you, that can only help you, right? That's just one more obstacle to overcome when you're on the road on game one, especially, you know, this is not like a veteran program and a veteran team. So I think being home gives you, I think, a little bit of an advantage for sure. Now, again, you don't take care of the football, none of it matters, but I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to play in front of our fan base. I'm excited for our kids to feel that injury and energy. And I got to tell you, I can't wait to watch our team play. We are explosive and we are exciting. I just, my mindset right now is we just got to get more, a higher level of execution. And what I mean by that is I talked to the team about percent perfect plays. You know, we count mental mistakes, and you just can't have, you know, in whatever drive or period, you know, too many mental mistakes, and you're tracking to make sure that you have guys that are not repeat offenders of that stuff, because those are the things that foil you on either side of the ball. When somebody's not where they're supposed to be or not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And when you get that at a high frequency, you misfire and you don't have any cohesion. And then you just become like, are your dudes kind of better than their dudes? And can you erase a bunch of those mistakes? I'm trying to say, let's not make a bunch of those mistakes. And then let's let our dudes try to erase, you know, but we'll see. We'll see. But again, toughness, energy, effort. I like all that right now. I just want to see us execute at a higher level. So next couple of days, high focus on that. High focus on that. The next 2 days won't be very physical. There'll be more assignment, fundamental based days. And then because I'm trying to get our team back. I want our team to play relentless and fast and physical. I don't want them to play tired. So we got to do the best we can to get some, you know, get some of that energy back in as we go down the back end of this week.
Is Trey McBride the type of player that can help you as coaches, if you want player-led team, get your program to where you're trying to get?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very senior, older guy. It's got to be player-led by the older guys, by the leaders on the team. And that's what make good programs. So, I mean, I would say right now we're a little coach-led. You know, but that's what it's going to take. Then that's what it's going to take. We got to become more player led. And I think we're working towards that. And I think that's something we got to continue to get better at, you know, but that comes with the maturity of your program. That's called the team culture. That's what that's all about. You know, I always talk to the kids. What's a leader do? He sets a standard and he holds everybody accountable to that standard. It's really simple. Set a standard, hold everybody accountable to the standard. Today, you don't see guys doing that as much as they used to, you know. Everybody's just like, okay, well, whatever. No, not whatever. That's why it's still a team game. You got to set a standard, hold everybody accountable. You got to push everybody. That's my job. I got to push the staff. I got to push the players, right? We got a standard. We're trying to hold ourselves to that standard. You need leadership, and that has to happen. You know, that's just the way it is. So we're still working on that as the culture of our football team. And when you have a really good culture, as a coach, you don't have to get involved with a lot of that stuff. It just happens.
You name season captains, those 5 guys represent exactly what you're trying to get accomplished. Guys that can get that done for you.
Well, that would be your hope, but those captains were not elected by Steve Addazio. Okay. I let the team elect the captains. Now, I happen to think we've got 5 great captains, right? I want to be clear about that. I love who we did pick, but the team picked the captains. So my job is to make sure that I set the standard for the team. They know what the standard is, and they understand who are the guys that hold the people to that standard. And then hopefully the team votes for the captains. Those are the guys that represent that culture of that team. But it's not me. I didn't pick them, but I'm quite pleased with who our captain. But I want it. It's got to be from the team. And I think that's another big piece of it. When I watch it real carefully, but I've had a lot of coaches over there. Well, I'll make sure it goes the way I want it to go. No, I'm not. I mean, it's going to go the way that we get. The team's got to learn how to do that, and they did a good job. Now we've got more than, usually I've gone with, but that's where that's how the voting showed. And that's where the break points were. So again, that was their will. I wanted it to be their will.
You mentioned the South Dakota State quarterback live, played a couple of stops, transferred in.
Yeah.
Is he the perfect fit for that offense, or do you think he brings something to what you saw last year?
Well, yeah, I mean, he can run it. So I think he can run the offense the way they want to run their offense. So I think he is a really good fit for them. Yeah. And I mean, I know they had an exceptional quarterback that they lost. I mean, he was exceptional. And that's a tough blow. But the kid they got, he's a good athlete. He can operate their offense well.
I think the fact that they played spring, good, bad, no factor. Obviously, it's kind of never really happened like this.
Well, I mean, from an injury standpoint, it wasn't good. They lost a starting quarterback in the last game of the year. He's a hell of a player. But overall, I think it's an advantage. I mean, you come off of a season, you usually at the end of the year, you're playing your best football. We came off of 8 prepared games and 4 played, and totally different ball of wax. And I say, well, I guess someone might say, yeah, but you had the off season, you were lifting more, blah blah. Yeah, maybe that might be true a little bit, but they're just coming off of that. That's that execution level I'm talking about. My guess is their execution level will be pretty high. Ours, takes a while to get grooved in. I don't know that we're quite there yet, but I don't know. Sometimes you think about these things and what's an advantage, what's a disadvantage. I don't even know anymore. I guess it is what it is. Just there's pros and cons to everything. You just got to make it all positive and rock and roll. And I like where we are right now. I just, like everybody else. I mean, as a coach, you know what you see every day, and your eyes don't deceive you. So if I didn't see great things, I'd be like, oh boy, but I see great things. Now I'm just hoping that I see those same great things on Friday night, right? But I've seen them consistently. They're not been like, hit or miss. They've been pretty consistent. So my guess would be that, I believe in competitive excellence, and I believe that practice makes perfect. So, my belief will be that, we're going to get guys that play at a high level.
Trey came back to become a better tight end.
Yeah.
What is the national audience going to see from him Friday night?
Well, I think you're going to see he's the best tight end in college football. I think you'll see him in all facets of the game, and he's going to touch the ball a lot, and he'll be blocking, touching the ball, running with the ball. I mean, he's on the back. He's the captain of our punt team. I mean, you'll just see him all over the field. And I think that'll be, you'll see with his physicality and his toughness and the way he plays the game. And then of course, there were some areas he wanted to improve in, like he wanted to improve in his blocking, which he really did. He's improved really well in his route running, the preciseness of it. So I think you've seen a complete player, and I think you'll see a big night out of Trey McBride.
You said at the beginning of preseason camp, you thought special teams would be electric. Is everything you've seen in camp, you're still sticking with that?
Yeah.
You're excited to see how they perform?
I am. Yeah. I think there's been a tremendous amount of focus and attention to detail on special teams, and they've been great. I mean, when you have your best players, like guys like Trey and guys like Daquan and those guys, I mean, they own it. When those guys own it, you should be in good shape. We've got a really good kicker, a really good punter, a really good snapper. We've spent a lot of time in our coverage lanes and all the different responsibilities. I would anticipate that we should play at a high level on special teams. I felt like today we took a real step on our kickoff team. I started to feel that real acceleration in the kickoff team, which I like to see. So I'm excited to watch our, our kickoff team. I think we could be a little more consistent on our kickoffs, where we place the ball. So I think that's something that I'd like to see, and I would say we'll come out of this game and we'll feel good. There'll probably be some herky jerky spots along the way, but I don't see, I told you what I think. I think we've had a great preseason. I think we had a really great off season. I think we're going to be ready to play this game. I like to see us, I want to see us execute at a high level on Friday night. And I just think today, I'm speaking on offense. I thought that there's too many mental mistakes and we've got to make sure we eradicate those.
Steve, do you feel good about the state of your offensive line going into this game, and how much rotating do you expect to do?
We said we're going to play with 7 guys. We have 7 guys that we feel are starters, and the guys that, play the most consistent will stay on the field. But we feel like we have 7.
And then obviously, there's been a lot of attention on Dante Wright coming in. He's had a lot of really successful seasons. You've mentioned Ty McCullough as a guy who stood out in training camp. Has that continued, and has anybody else kind of stood out potentially to be that breakout number 2 receiver?
Well, yeah. I mean, Dante's has had a fabulous training camp. Dante's ready to rock and roll. I think the whole receiving group is improved. I like EJ's performance in camp. I like Ty's performance. I like Jordan Kress' performance in camp. I think those guys have done a good job, and I think Justice has done a good job too. I think all the receivers have improved vastly, and so I'm looking forward to that. When we play with 2 tight ends, and those guys are excellent receivers. I mean, Cam Butler has had a phenomenal camp. There's a guy that missed last year and has not really been a part of our program per se, right? So this is the first time we get a chance to coach him. It's the first time he's had to perform and be demanded of what he's being demanded of, but he's getting better every single day. So our passing game has, I think, vastly improved, due to all the above factors. I think the play of our receivers, the play of our tight ends. I think our quarterback's playing at a high level, which is a reflection of, I think, of our offensive coordinator, John Budmeyer, has done a fabulous job with installation and teaching of our throw game. So, I think our throw game and our play action game, our throw game is vastly improved, but I think our play action game is exceptional. So, we've spent a whole preseason camp in theory throwing it more than running it. And we get into the game, into the season, we should be an explosive team. So I'm anxious to see that go.
How big of a bonus is it for the offensive line having the experience of Cam Butler and Trey McBride, and being able to go 12 personnel and use those tight ends in like a blocking scenario?
Well, I mean, I think they're independent of each other, right? I mean, the offense line is the offense line, the tight ends are the tight ends. But I think by having the ability to be in a 12 personnel where you can threaten teams in the throw game, and those guys are very good blockers, and you can create extra gaps in the defense, I think it stresses the defense, that it's a harder to stop the run. And when you commit 8, 9 guys in the box and you can throw it over their head in play action or drop back, I mean, we can be in empty or we can be in closed formation on first down as efficiently as any other team. I think therein lies the stress on defenses, because a lot of teams in our league want to play in nickel and dime defenses. It's hard to do that if you play a 12 team that can throw the ball really well, but then can run the ball really well. Now you got to make a decision here. What are you doing? You're going to play with a little nickel, or are you going to put a bigger guy in there? Because if you don't put a bigger guy in there and we create an extra gap over there, that's going to be hard on the defense. That's the theory anyways.
Thank you, Steve.
All right, guys. Thank you.